Good morning, children. Today we are going to start the second part of the chapter 3, that is element, compounds, and mixture. Today we will discuss with the separation of mixtures. Most of the matter around us is a mixture of two or more components. Mixtures are either homogeneous or heterogeneous. Homogeneous mixtures are uniform in composition like air, and heterogeneous mixtures are not uniform in composition like oil in water. Homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture can be separated into their components using different techniques based on the type of mixture and difference in the chemical properties of the constituents of a mixture. So, here we will explain how the different methods can be adopted to separate the constituent of mixtures such as evaporation, sedimentation, decantation, filtration, distillation, centrifugation, and chromatography. Before understanding this method, we have to know what is the reason behind the need to separate the mixture. Why we need to separate the mixture. To separate the mixture, the desired component from the other undesired components is required. Second, to separate the pure form of a substance from the mixture. And third, to separate the useful substance from the impurities. Now we will see what are the techniques used to separate the constituents of a mixture. So for this, the first separation method is evaporation. The process in which a liquid changes to its vapor form on heating is called evaporation. Most solid liquid mixtures are separated using this method. For example, salt solution can be used for this method, in which salt can be separated from the solution by evaporation process. Here we are using the materials, that is evaporating dish, Bunsen burner, tripod stand, and wire gauge. Here we are using the evaporating dish in which the salt solution is kept, and then we will heat this one. What we will see? We will see that all the water present in the salt solution are evaporating in the form of vapors, and the remaining, that is the salt, is left behind in the evaporating dish. So this is the process how we are evaporating the salt solution. Now here, what is the main points of evaporation? It turns liquid into gas. Evaporation takes place at temperature below boiling points. It also gives cooling sensation. There are several examples we can use for this process. That is the drying clothes under the sun, ironing of clothes, cooling down of hot tea, drying of wet hair, melting of ice, and so on. Now we will discuss the distillation process. The process by which a pure substance is obtained from a mixture in a solution is called distillation. This process is used to separate a liquid-liquid mixture, where pure liquid is separated from an impure liquid. In this process, the liquid mixture is heated in a distillation flask where the liquid is converted to its vapor form. Now we will show the activity to separate the salt and water from salt solution. Here you can see in the figure the distillation process. The materials required are distillation flask, water condenser, layback condenser, beaker, thermometer, jacket and clamp stand. Procedure is used here. First, we take a mixture of salt and water in a distillation flask. You can see the distillation flask which is clamped on the clamp stand. Now we will put a thermometer in it. Connect the flask to a water condenser. The condenser has cold water running through its jacket to keep the thermometer cool. You can see the layback condenser. Now we will keep a beaker at the outlet of the condenser. Then we will heat the mixture, keeping an eye on the thermometer. When the temperature hits 100 degrees Celsius, water starts to vaporize. These vapors condense in the water condenser. The condensed water gets collected in the beaker. When all the water vaporizes, salt is left in the flask. Water is collected in the beaker. In this way, salt and water get separated by simple distillation. Now the important points, that is the boiling points of water is 100 degrees Celsius and boiling point of salt is more than that of water. As there is sufficient difference between their boiling points, so these components can be separated by simple distillation. Simple distillation does not work properly when difference between two boiling points is less than 25 degrees Celsius. This is because the components do not get separated and purify completely. So if we repeat this process for multiple times, we will able to separate these two components. For this reason, we are using another technique, that is the fractional distillation. Fractional distillation is a method which is used to separate two miscible liquid. Miscible means which can mix the liquid which can be mixed uniformly. It works on the principle of difference in boiling points of different liquids. Mixture of water and alcohol can be separated by this fractional distillation. The apparatus used in fractional distillation is similar as compared to the simple distillation, but only difference is the fractionating column. The temperature in the fractionating column is different at different levels. The vapors of the liquid with high boiling point condense at the bottom of the fractionating column, and the vapors of the liquid with low boiling point condense at the top of the liquid fractionating column. Now we will discuss the activity here to separate alcohol and water by using fractional distillation. You can see the figure, and the materials required are distillation flask, thermometer, layback condenser, fractionating column, beaker, clamp stand. Now the procedure. First, as the difference in boiling points of water is 373 Kelvin and alcohol 351 Kelvin is only 22 Kelvin, their mixture can be separated by the process of fractional distillation using fractionating column. The mixture is taken in a distillation flask. You can see the figure where the distillation flask is clamped on the clamp stand, and we are using the fractionating column which is inserted between the distillation flask, and the layback condenser also is used to condense the water. Now the flask is heated on water bath at a steady temperature of 351 Kelvin. Alcohol distills out and is collected as first fraction in the receiver. The vapors of waters are cooled in the column and liquid water trickles down back into the flask. When alcohol is distilled out completely, the temperature starts rising and the receiver is changed. When the temperature becomes steady at 373 Kelvin, water distills out and is collected as second fraction in the receiver. Alcohol and water can be further purified by redistillation using simple distillation apparatus. Now the important notes. Fractional distillation is used to separate the components of miscible liquid on the basis of the difference in boiling points. The fractionating column is packed with glass bottle. Water remain at the bottom is hot and alcohol at the top remains cool. Here various method with this process we can separate anything, that is the crude oil which is known as the petroleum oil, from which we can easily separate out petrol, diesel, lubricating oil, paraffin wax and so on. Now the next method we are using, that is the separating funnel. Separating funnel is an apparatus used to separate immiscible liquid from their mixture. Immiscible means the mixture which does not dissolve in liquid. Mixture of oil and water can be separated using a separating funnel. This method works on the principle that the higher liquid floats on the top and the denser liquid is left at the bottom. Now we will discuss the activity to separate a mixture of oil and water using separating funnel. The materials required are water, oil, separating funnel, clamp stand, conical flask, filter funnel. Now we will explain the procedure. We will take the separating funnel and clamp it on the stand. Now we will take a filter funnel and place it on the mouth of the separating funnel. We will pour the mixture of oil and water into the separating funnel through the filter funnel. Then we will remove the filter funnel from the separating funnel and close the funnel using a lid. Now we will take the funnel and invert and shake it gently and slowly and open the stopcock, which we called it as a nozzle of the funnel, to release the pressure inside the funnel. Again, we will place the separating funnel in the stand and allow the two liquids to separate completely. We can see that oil forms the top layer and water forms the bottom layer. Now we will take a beaker and place below the separating funnel. We will remove the lid on the mouth of the separating funnel. We will open the stopcock of the separating funnel and pour out the lower layer of water carefully into the beaker. Now we will close the stopcock as the oil reaches the stopcock. Take another beaker and place it below the separating funnel. Then we will open the stopcock and now collect out from the separating funnel. Finally, we will label the two components transferred into the beaker as water and oil. Now the important notes. Separating funnel is used to separate the immiscible liquids in layer depending upon their densities. Since water is the denser liquid, it falls to the bottom and forms the lower layer. As oil is the lighter liquid, it forms the top layer. Therefore, the liquid with more density forms the lower layer, and the liquid with lesser density forms the upper layer. Now we will discuss the next method, that is the sublimation. The process in which a solid converts directly into its vapor on heating is called sublimation. Sublimation is used to separate substances from a mixture, that is camphor, naphthalene and ammonium chloride, which undergo sublimation. We can easily separate mixture such as iodine and sand or common salt and ammonium chloride by the process of sublimation. We can also use dry ice or solid carbon dioxide, which is also sublime. We can also use the method, that is the snow and ice will sublime in the winter, mothballs. These are all the examples of sublimation. Now we will do the activity. You can see the figure of sublimation. Here we have to separate ammonium chloride from chalk powder using sublimation. In place of chalk powder, we can use common salt also. Now the materials required: china dish, tripod stand, beaker, ammonium chloride, chalk powder, Bunsen burner, cotton plug and glass funnel. You can see the figure. Here the china dish is kept, and here we are mixing the ammonium chloride and chalk powder in a china dish, and we are using a glass funnel and invert it to cover the dish as it is shown in the figure. Then we are using a cotton plug to close the open end of the funnel. Then we will heat the mixture in the dish covered with the funnel on a tripod stand and burner. Now we will observe the changes. The vapor of ammonium chloride starts coming out. They cool down as they hit the walls of the glass funnel. The conclusion we get that on heating, ammonium chloride gets directly converted to vapor and then condenses to solid ammonium chloride on the cooler part of the funnel. And then we will take out the funnel, and from the cooler part of the funnel we will just scratch out the ammonium chloride with the help of a glass rod, and we will get the solid ammonium chloride, and chalk powder will be remain in the china dish. Now we will explain another technique which is known as the modern technique, which we called it as a chromatography. Mixture of chemicals in their liquids or gaseous form can be separated using chromatography method. The method is based on the principle of selective adsorption of component. Here we are using adsorption. Adsorption means AD, that means the surface phenomenon, because chromatography is based on surface phenomenon only. This process involves a stationary phase. Here the stationary phase either solid or a liquid, and a mobile phase. Here it may be a liquid or a gas. Here we are discussing the paper chromatography because there are several chromatography. In this we will only explain the paper chromatography. Paper chromatography is done using special chromatography paper and a solvent in which substances are dissolved. The chromatography paper is the stationary phase, while the solvent is the mobile phase. In this method, mixture of different substances in a solution is taken in a glass jar. The chromatography paper is then dipped in the solution such that it only touches the liquid and is not completely immersed in it. Now the setup is then kept aside undisturbed. The solvent present in the mixture start moving up the chromatography paper through capillary action and start separating out on the paper. The solute with the maximum affinity to the solvent separates last, while the solute with the least affinity for the solvent separates out first on the chromatography paper. The pattern obtained due to separation of solutes on the chromatography paper is called a chromatograph. This pattern can be represented in the form of a graph to interpret the data also. Now the activity. Here we are separating a mixture using paper chromatography. Here the material used is Whatman paper. Whatman paper means the paper with different pore sizes. In place of Whatman paper, we can use filter paper also. Water, marker, paints of different colors, glass jar, water pencil. Now the procedure, we will take a Whatman paper or filter paper, we will draw a line above 5 cm from the bottom of the paper. Using the marker of different colors, we will put some spots on the pencil line at equal distance from each other, and then we will keep to dry for some time. Now hang this paper on a glass jar containing little water, and we will make sure that the water does not touch the spots and remains below the pencil line. As the water gets absorbed, it separates the multiple components of the marker, and as water rises up, different dyes have different solubility levels and travel at different speeds as the water rises up. As a result, we see different colored strips at different heights, and the dyes get separated. The solute in the form of colors start moving up the paper from the base, and a chromatography is obtained. Hence, paper chromatography is used to separate the different colors in a dye. So it is a special technique. Nowadays we are using this type of technique only. So this is the end of the chapter. Now we will discuss the question and answer. So here you can see the true and false. We have to state whether the following statement are true or false. Evaporation is the process used to separate a liquid from another liquid. That is false. Here we will write solid. Distillation is the process by which a pure substance is obtained from a mixture. It's true. In the process of filtration, the solution is allowed to pass through Whatman paper. That is false. It will be filter paper. Fractional distillation is the method used to separate two miscible liquids. True. All liquids dissolve completely in each other. That is false. All liquid does not dissolve completely in each other. During the process of sublimation, a liquid is converted into its vapor on heating. That is false. That is solid. Now some of the definitions are given in your book. That is atom, element, ion, compound, homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Please learn all these definitions, which are very, very important. Now we will discuss the very short answers question, that is take the correct option. Which of the following statement is correct for a mixture? That is the D, both A and B. Al is the symbol for which of the following elements? That is aluminium. Which of the following is not a compound? That is nitrogen. Which of the following is the symbol for silver? That is Ag. A compound is A or An, that is pure substance with more than one element. Which mixture can be separated using distillation? That is salt and water. Which of these elements are present in sodium hydroxide? That is Na, H and O. Which of the following is an example of heterogeneous mixture? That is sand and water. Mixture of ethanol and water can be separated by using which of the following method? That is the fractional distillation. Now we will explain fill in the blanks. Here you can see the answers which are given in this. ZnCl is given. Please change that one and make it ZnCl2. Now the first question. Dash is the molecular formula of zinc chloride. So the answer is ZnCl2. The elements are made up of only one type of particles. The Latin name of copper is cuprum. Anions are negatively charged. Cations are positively charged. Dash is the combining capacity of an element. The pattern obtained on chromatography paper is called chromatograph. Mixture of oil and water can be separated using separating funnel. Now match the following. Mixture is indefinite composition, compound definite composition, element one type of particles, brush is an alloy, ethanol and water is the fractional distillation, oil and water separating funnel. Write chemical formula of the following compounds. I have already written in the note. You will see after this. Write the name of the compound represented by the given formula, that also I have written. Now define the following term. An ion you will see in page 28, that is an ions. Cation also you will get in page 28 in ions. Sublimation you will get in page 34. Compound in page 28. Fractional distillation in page 33 and chromatography in page 35. Now complete the concept map. Substances, mixture and compound. Here examples already I have given, that is sand and water for mixture, honey and milk, and for compound sodium chloride, water and carbon dioxide. Now short answers question. What is the difference between an atom and a molecule? I have written in the note. What is an element is given in page 25. Question number 3. How will you differentiate between composition of a pure substance and a mixture? I have written in the note. Now what is the significance of chemical formula of compound is given in page 30, that is in significance. Draw the symbols of mercury, silver and carbon is proposed by Dalton is given in page 26. Write the Latin name of gold and silver. For gold it will be aurum and silver will be argentum. What are the combining elements of hydrogen chloride and ammonia? The combining elements of hydrogen chloride is hydrogen and chlorine, and for ammonia it will be nitrogen and hydrogen. On what principle does chromatography work? Already I have given in notes. What is the principle used in distillation? That is also I have given in note. Differentiate also I have given in note. Only the mixture and compound you can see in page 30. Now level the figure given below. What is the process called? That is the distillation. Where and why is it used? This process is used to separate a liquid-liquid mixture where pure liquid is separated from an impure liquid. Now long answer questions. Differentiate between compound and mixture is already given in page 30. With the help of an activity, prove the mixture can be separated through physical method, whereas compound cannot be separated. Any activity you can use. Now differentiate between molecule of an element and a molecule of a compound. Give example, that is also I have given in your note. Now observe the image, explain the method and why it is used, that is the chromatography, and I have already explained. Now the challenge. What is the valency of sodium in NaCl and calcium in CaO? The valency of sodium in NaCl is 1 and the valency of calcium in CaO is 2. An element A has the valency 1 and an element B has valency 2. Write the formula of the compound formed by A and B. So here I have already done. For A the valency is +1 and for B the valency is -2. So we will cross multiply. We will get A will be multiplied with 2 and B will be multiplied with +1. The formula is A2B. The formula of the chloride of a metal A is ACl is already given. With this symbol we can easily understood that A has got the valency 1. That is why A has +1 and Cl has -1. So the molecular formula is ACl. Now we have to find the formula of oxide and sulfide. As A is +1, oxygen is -2. So we will cross multiply and we will get the formula. A will be multiplied by 2 of oxygen and oxygen will be multiplied with the valency of A and we will get A2O. Same as with the sulfide also, A has got valency +1 and sulfur has got valency -2. So we will cross multiply and we will get the formula, that is A2S. Now we will solve this crossword. I have already written So you can easily do it. What is wrong in the given valency and molecular formula, circulate also and write the name of the compound. So you can see Ca and CO3. The valency for Ca is +2, for CO3 is -2. So we cross multiply and we get the formula CaCO3. The name is calcium carbonate. Now in the second, aluminium has got the valency +3 and nitrate has got the valency -1. So we cross multiply and we have got the formula AlNO3 whole 3. The name of the compound is aluminium nitrate. Now Zn has got valency +2 and sulfur has got valency -2. So we cross multiply and we get the formula that is ZnS. We also call this one as zinc sulfide. Now calcium has got the valency +2 and hydroxide has got the valency -1. So we cross multiply and we get the formula CaOH whole 2. So the name of the compound is calcium hydroxide. Now magnesium has got +2 and oxygen has got -2. So we cross multiply and we get the formula that is magnesium oxide. Now Ag has got +1 and iodine has got -1. So we cross multiply and we got the formula that is AgI and the name is silver iodide. Now I have already given in the note the different methods which we are using to separate the constituent of mixture. So all these methods I have already given the types of mixture, separation technique and principle involved and also the examples. In the separation technique I have used evaporation, sedimentation, decantation, filtration, distillation, fractional distillation as well as separating funnel, sublimation, centrifugation, chromatography, all the types of mixture, separation technique, principle involved and examples I have already given. So please go through these principles which are very, very important. And also I have told you that for D and E I have already done in the note. So please do it this one and practice as much as you can. Now the next is the differentiation, that is atom and molecule. The first point, the tiny particles of a chemical element which may or may not exist independently, and for the molecule in which atoms held together by the bond indicating the smallest unit of a compound. Second, in atom it comprises of nucleus and electron, and in molecule two or more identical or different atoms bonded chemically. Third, it may or may not exist in free state. In molecule, it can exist in free state. Now the difference between pure substance and mixture. The pure substance that are made up of one matter are called pure substance, and several substances together form a mixture. You can also give this one because it is on the basis of the chemical composition. So differentiate for the pure substance is a homogeneous material with a definite invariable chemical composition. And for the mixture may be a mixture of two or more kinds of substances or both in any proportion. So you can, if you give this, it is more better as compared to the first one. Second point, they may be solid, liquid or gas. Second point, they may be heterogeneous or homogeneous. Third point, physical and chemical properties are constant. Here physical and chemical properties are not constant. They varies. They cannot be separated by physical method. They can be separated by physical method, that is evaporation, magnetic separation, etc. Now next is, that is the distillation and fractional distillation. Distillation is used to separate liquids with boiling points, gaps of at least 50 degrees Celsius. And it is used to separate, for fractional distillation, it is used to separate liquids with closer boiling point. Second point, this process doesn't have to be repeated. But in fractional distillation, the process has to be repeated several times to get the pure components. Third point, in distillation, it can be used to separate a solvent from a solute. Third point, for fractional distillation, it cannot be used to separate a solvent from a solute. Fourth point, it is used to purify seawater. Fourth point, for fractional distillation is used in crude oil refining. Now the sublimation and evaporation. Sublimation is the transition of solid state into gaseous state, and for evaporation is the transition of liquid state into gaseous state. The initial state is a solid state in sublimation, and in evaporation the initial state is a liquid state. Initial state means the starting point. In sublimation does not occur on the surface of the liquid, but evaporation occurs on the surface of the liquid. Now ions and element. An ion is an atom that has different number of protons and electrons. An element where all atoms have the same number of protons. In ions are simply molecules or individual atoms that have gained or lost one or more electron, but in elements are substances made up of only one type of atom. Ions are always charged, elements are not charged. Now we will explain the last one, that is the molecule of element and molecule of compound. The molecule of an element is made up of only one kind of atom. The molecule of a compound is made up of two or more kind of atom. Example of element is hydrogen. It is made up of only one from the atom of hydrogen. And the example of compound, that is water, that is H2O. The one molecule of water contains two types of atom, two of the hydrogen and one of oxygen. So this is the end of the chapter with the question, answers and everything I have given. Please go through the chapter very nicely and learn all the question and answers. So I am ending this video now.